Hello and welcome back to Ultima 7, the Black Gate and Forge of Virtue. Okay, so last time we finished up in Pause and we solved the mystery of the Silver Serpent Venom Thief. That turned out to be Garrett, the son of the Fellowship Shelter, or the son of the leader of the Fellowship Shelter in Pause. And we hooked up Thurston? I can't remember now. Yeah, Thurston and Polly, who are now going to start dating. And that was nice. So just north of here is Britain. And before we do anything, we're going to grow our party. That bread smells good. Britain sure is big. You're right, it is, Spark. The person I'm looking for is not here. But let's talk to Let's talk to the staff. You see an attractive woman in her 50s. She has a warm smile. Welcome. Who art thou, stranger? I'm Lugan. Well, hello, Lugan. I'm Lucy. Hello, Lucy. What's your job? I run the Blue Boar, oldest tavern in Britannia. If thou dost want anything to eat or drink, just say so. I don't want any food or drink. Tell me about the Boar. Smashing place for a revel. It hath been here for ages. I inherited it from my grandfather. I enjoy it because I love to cook and eat. She laughs. And drink. She laughs again. But mostly, I like it because I meet so many interesting people, just like thee, Lugan. Like who? Oh, I so enjoy meeting men who like to go out and kill things. What sorts of revel goes on? Thou dost look like the kind of person who doth enjoy a fair bit of revelry. Come back to the pub in the evening to hear our house band, the Avatars. The Avatars? They are a popular local singing group. I am sure thou wilt like them, Lugan. What sorts of revelry goes on? Lucy laughs. Revelry, singing, dancing, eating, drinking, all in a time and place where one may stop and enjoy life. I can see it hath been too long since thou hast sampled the Britannian simple pleasures of life in Britannia. Okay, that's all. Bye, Lucy. Talk to thee later. This young, lovely tavern wench is sexy and sweet. Jeanette, at thy service. What's your job? I work for Lucy at the Blue Boar. I serve food and drinks. If there is anything thou wouldst like, please say so. And, I shall give thee a discount if thou dost buy from me. I don't... Lucy is a good cook. I recommend everything, especially Silverleaf. Oh, I didn't realize we could get useful prompts for that. Tell me about Silverleaf. Wonderful dish. Try it. I don't think so. Tell me about the drink. Thou dost look like thou dost need a good drink. Okay. And bye. Farewell. Do you say anything interesting when I ask about the food? Silverleaf. Worth every piece. Silverleaf. It's made from the root of a very rare tree. Quite superb, it is. Interesting. Anything on the drink? I serve Britain's finest ale and wine. Okay, bye. Talk to thee later. Wonder what time it is. Do I have a watch? I don't think I do. Got some sausages in there. We'll take those. You can keep your dried meat. Okay. Well, let's go this way then. We'll check back into the Blue Boar shortly. Now really what we should do is go see Lord British, but I want to increase the party by a few members before we do that. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. You see a dashing, slender man, stylishly dressed with a lot of flair. Thou dost not remember me? I'm Sentry. I think in Ultima 6 he actually specifies that it's pronounced Sentry. We've gone adventuring together in the past. I think only in Ultima 6, but I could be wrong. When I'm not adventuring with old friends, I'm a trainer in Britain. I specialize in combat involving swordsmanship. I'm quite good at that, as thou dost remember. But I would drop everything to join thy group if thou art not too encumbered. Yeah, definitely join, Sentry. Sentry bows. I'm very pleased to join thy group. Tell me about Britain. I'm becoming wary of the place. It is having growth pains of which the bourgeoisie are unaware. All is not as serene as the noblemen present it. No? Tell me about it. Well, for example, try going to one of the smaller towns, say Paz. It's a poor man's place. It reeks, too. And 'tis only just beyond the Britain town limits. More money should be put into improving the land as a whole, not just building new buildings in the capital city. I do not know what Lord British is thinking. What's British doing these days? I never see him much. He stays in that castle of his all the time. He never gets out. No wonder he hasn't a clue what is going on in this country. Have you seen any of our other old friends? I do not see our old friends, Iolo, Shimino, or Dupre much. Well, Iolo's right here. How art thou, friend? Thou dost look like thou couldst use a little training thyself. What is this? Everyone doth make fun of my physique. I'm not making fun, Iolo. I'm serious, Sentry laughs. What about Dupre? Excuse me. I want to see that no-good troublemaker. He is a knight now, I hear. Sir Dupre, indeed. What about Shimino? 'Twould be good to share a joke or two with him. Swordsmanship. Sentry draws his sword so quickly it is like a flash of lightning. He does a few fancy moves, slashing the air with the blade. No foe shall stand after I am finished with him. Wear the thing to bed, Sentry? And he will train us for free if we want. Since I'm a member of thy group, I shall train thee for free. One of you wishes to train? Well, actually, I'm going to say no. Perhaps at a later time. So if we train with him, he uses up, I'm not sure how many of our training points, and I don't think he gives you a great improvement to your stats. I could be wrong about that. We don't need to train right now, even though we can, so I'll look into it a little bit more later. In the meantime, ooh, key. I bet that opens the door. It's not stealing, because he's part of the team now. I don't have any more torches for Spark. Alright. Look at the loot in here. This Sentry. Let's just give it to him. So, Sentry is a fighter. I believe that's what he is anyways. So I'm going to give him all his own gear. Whoops. I see what I did. Rather than take it for myself. Because I'm going to trust him to be up there swinging. Let's give the arrows to Spark. We don't need that. I will take... Let's just put that on my back for now. I'll take the spiked shield. I think that's better than the buckler, though I'm not sure. Iolo can take the ribs. And the gold. And I think that's it. We'll leave the Morning Star. I'm using one, and I don't even know if I should. I think maybe the Great Dagger might be better. But we're not going to be getting in any combat while we're in the city, so we don't need to worry about that right now. Great. So we got Sentry. I think I'm probably going to call him Sentry. In Ultima 6, like I said, I'm pretty sure he does specify that his name is pronounced Sentry, but I always called him Sentry, because that just seems to make more sense to me. So what we should do is go see Lord British, but there's still somebody else I want to find, and I don't know if I can overnight. So we're going to sleep. Let's sleep for 8 hours, and then go see if we can find them during the day.
Yes, my friend, rest and heal, so that you are strong and able to face the perils before you. Pleasant dreams.
Thank you. Who's this? Just coming into Sentry's house and closing his curtains? Who is this? This is a tall, skinny actor with knobby knees. Man. I am Jesse, and I am a star. Yeah? I work at the Royal Theatre as an actor. I've played all the great roles in my career. I now have the chance to play the part of a lifetime, the Avatar. The Avatar? That's me. The role is very challenging. I have a plethora of lines, and I had to work with a trainer for weeks to prepare for the enormous amount of activity required. This role will make Jesse a household name. Tell me what the lines. My biggest lines are name, job, and bye. That's quite funny. It's challenging? It is easily the most ambitious theatrical production ever conceived. There's over 100 hours of playtime. That is a long time for an audience. Royal Theatre. Because it must cater to the masses, we never have the opportunity to do experimental works, only the traditional gruel of mediocrity. But 'tis a wonderful space, and it has marvelous acoustics. Experimental works? My favorite piece is something Raimundo wrote for me entitled 3 on a Codpiece. I stand on a stage and invite the audience to join me in tearing an undergarment into tiny pieces, after which they are placed in funeral with urns and mixed with wheat paste. The pieces of cloth, not the audience members. Then the audience may glue the pieces anywhere on my body that they wish. Right. Masses? People like to see tales of heroic adventures, knights in armor, beautiful princesses, wise kings, wizards, evil monsters, all that rot. Okay, well, bye, you weirdo. Goodbye. Be sure to come to the show when it opens. I guess I did sit through that Fellowship play. Someone's a little hungry. I'm not super worried about that right now. Aha. Your old friend Shimino stands before you, and you marvel that he has finally progressed into what some might call middle age. Name. Your friend looks at you like you've lost your head. Shimino. Me? No. Job? I should hope 'twould be adventuring with thee, but I'm weary of loitering about Britain. There is much we could be accomplishing. Where hast thou been, anyway? But please, tell me what brings thee here. Murder intrinsic. Shimino listens as you tell him the story. I would be honored to join and help thee in investigating this matter. Well, I do not know if thou art aware, but we are having many problems with magic in general and with the Moongates. The Moongates? I'm confounded by their inability to function properly. And magic? Magic all over Britannia seems to be disturbed. Say, dost thou remember Nicodemus in the great forest? He hath gone mad, and is terribly silly. Perhaps we should visit him. What's Britain like? Yes, I've been in Britain as of late, attempting to find work. Thou dost know that adventuring comes around too infrequently. One must find other diversions. Which reminds me, I have thy pocket watch. Oh, great. Thou dost leave it when thou didst last visit Britannia. Here it is. Shimino hands you the pocket watch. Diversions? The usual. I do not see our old friends often, and Lord British rarely finds work for me. I certainly have no time for wenching or drinking. I've grown up a bit. I've heard something about an actress, no? What dost thou know of it? Lugan, ask him about Amber. Thou art a swine, Iolo. Amber. You see a light shine in Shimino's eyes as you mention her name. He is obviously smitten. She's an actress, I know. Lord British, I suggest thou proceed immediately to see him. Okay, well, join. Shimino looks relieved. I'm so glad thou didst ask me that. He gathers his gear and prepares to follow you. Shimino bows slightly. Okay, great. So we'll catch up with those other two people in there later. Let's take a look at our new party members and do a little bit of inventory management. So Shimino, I believe, is a ranger. Let's check them both out. Sentry's hungry. So they both come in at level 3 with no training points, which is the same as Iolo, I believe, when we got him. Similar, but Shimino is a little more dexterous and a little bit more intelligent than Sentry. Both the same in combat. Oh, that's interesting. I actually thought Sentry was better, but it seems like he's not quite as strong as Shimino. I've always generally given Shimino or Sentry melee weapons and Shimino generally ranged weapons, but I'm not totally sure if that's just because that's the way I played it when I was younger, or if there's actually a reason to that. Whoops. Let's see what they come with, because I didn't check their bag, so I guess I did with Sentry. Shimino doesn't have much. We'll ditch that. Let's give him the Morning Star and the Buckler, and I will take the Great Dagger. Great Dagger is cool. I'm not 100% on all of it, but I believe it's just a one-handed weapon that when you swing does the damage of a two-handed sword, which is one of the better melee weapons available in the game, certainly this early. And I've always given Shimino my food, so we're going to do that. Where is I? So Shimino's going to carry my food, Iolo's going to carry my money. Shimino doesn't have any armor right now, but that's okay. And now we can go see Lord British. Oh, yeah, okay, we can eat too. Ah, very tasty. You're welcome. Well, that was me, I guess. You're welcome, me. Belch. Ah, very tasty. Ah, very tasty. Alright. Now let's go see Lord British. Avatar, they're doing a play about thee. Ugh, yeah, we already heard about that. Oh, there's our first gargoyle. Well, let's do Lord British first. There. That looks like him. You see your old friend, Lord British, looking a bit older than when you last saw him. His eyes gleam at the sight of you. Welcome, my friend, he says, embracing you. Please, tell me what brings thee to Britannia. Or, more importantly, what brought thee here? A red moongate. You relate the story of how a red moongate appeared behind your house and mysteriously took you to Trinsic. Lord British's brow creases as you speak. Finally, he says, I did not send the Red Moon Gate to fetch thee. Someone or something must have activated that moon gate, and that is strange indeed, because we've been having a bit of trouble with moon gates as of late. In fact, we've been having trouble with magic in general. Yeah, I heard about the magic. Tell me more. Something is awry. Magic has not been working for the longest time. I even have trouble creating food with magic. It must have something to do with the magical ether. There are those who say that magic is dying, what with trouble with the moon gates and the situation with Nystel. I'm beginning to suspect that they might be right. Lord British studies you a moment. Perhaps magic will work much better for thee. Thou hast not been in Britannia long. It is possible that whatever has affected magic has not made its mark upon thee yet. Please try it. A spellbook is stored with the rest of thine equipment. Mine equipment? Thou art welcome to any of mine equipment. I keep it in a locked storeroom here in the castle. Thou wilt find the key in my study. Awesome. Where's your study? It is in the western end of the castle. Let's do it at the end. You said something's up with Nystel? Try talking to him. Nystel is the court, or whatever, the wizard of the court. I guess he'd be the court wizard. That sounds right. What's going on with the moon gates? The moon gates are not functioning. We cannot use them as we have in the past. Not only are they dysfunctional, they are in fact dangerous. One of my trusted sages used mine own Orb of the Moons to travel to the Shrine of Humility, and his body did shatter upon entering the gate. If only that mage in Cove hadn't gone mad. Mage in Cove? The ruler leans forward and speaks quietly. There is a mad mage in Cove by the name of Rudium. Dost thou remember him? Rudium was working with a magical substance called Blackrock. Before he went mad, he claimed that his mineral could solve the problem of the moon gates. I suggest that thou should go to Cove and find him. Try to learn what it was he was doing with this Blackrock material. It could be our only hope. Where's Cove? Surely thou dost remember Cove. It is a very pleasant town in the east of Britain, quite relaxing. And that's where Rudium is. He was a brilliant and respected mage, but something happened to him in recent years. He seemed to go completely senile. Tell me about your Orb of the Moons. Mine has not worked since the troubles with the magic began. In fact, none of the moon gates have been working reliably for quite a while. Did thou bring thine Orb of the Moons? I don't think so. I see. Thou might be stranded in Britannia here. Why not try mine? I shall let thee borrow it. Perhaps it will work for thee. Be careful, though. The moon gates have become dangerous. Lord British hands you his Orb of the Moons. In the past, in previous games, the Orb of the Moons was used to travel to different parts of Britannia, as were the moon gates, which are like most in Britannia. They're like set up as like permanent, not structures, but permanent fixtures in the game, anyways, that you can teleport between. And in the past, they've been predictable, but it sounds like they're dysfunctional now. What do you think about the Fellowship, British? They are an extremely useful and productive group of citizens. Thou shouldst most certainly visit the Fellowship headquarters here in Britain and speak with Batlin. Oh, the man himself. The Fellowship has done many good deeds throughout Britannia, including feeding the poor, educating and helping those in need, and promoting general goodwill and peace. Their headquarters? Yes, it is not far from the castle, to the southwest. It is just south of the theater. What do you know about Batlin? He is a druid who began the Fellowship about 20 years ago. He is highly intelligent and is a warm and gentle human being. You've got some pretty good things to say for someone who doesn't seem brainwashed. What happened with the rumble when I got here? Lord British looks at you gravely. The foundation of Britannia was shaken with the rising of an island. This event was no random disaster. It was one of sorcerous intent. Island? Yes, Lucan. I felt a great disturbance in the ether, when this island arose from the sea. The island is none other than the Isle of Fire, where thou defeated the Hellspawn Exodus. Exodus? Thy battle with that strange mixture of machine and spirit is now legendary. Do be careful if thou art going to the isle, for the remains of that being now reside in one of the chambers of the Castle of Fire. Isle of Fire? Lugan, thou shouldst know that when I created the Shrines of Virtues, I also set upon this island 3 great shrines dedicated to the principles of truth, love, and courage. They reside within the walls of the Castle of Fire. I never revealed this to thee before, as I thought them forever lost when the Isle of Fire mysteriously sank beneath the waves. The shrines are meant for the use of an avatar only, and therefore a talisman will be necessary to use one. The talismans are guarded by tests that thou shouldst have no problem passing if thou wishest to seek their counsel. If thou wishest to seek out this isle, thou mayest use my ship. It now sits upon the southern shore of Vesper, and is called the Golden Ong. Hey, please feel free to use it for as long as thou hast need of it. Lord British hands you the deed to the ship. I've also focused a magical crystal to the entrance of the Castle of Fire, which I refurbished after thy battle with Exodus. Here, take it. Perhaps it will give thee some insight. Although be warned, it is not at all stable, and might be prone to shatter the nearer thou find thyself to the location of which it is tuned. Lord British gives you the crystal. So, that was a ton of information because, excuse me, that was, I believe, the prompts for the Forge of Virtue, which is the expansion of Ultima 7. And that was me asking him about the earthquake that happened when I arrived in Trinsic. And basically what he says is that earthquake was due to an island that he had previously created. I'm a little hazy on the history and the lore. That rose back out of the sea, and I can go there to complete these challenges, presumably get some type of bonus, and if I want to go there I can borrow his ship, which he then gave me the deed to. The ship, however, is in Vesper. He does give you the ship even without the expansion. I forget the manner in which that comes about, but it's a neat little way that they tied it together. Anyways, name. We do this? I don't think so. Lord British laughs. What, art thou joking, Avatar? Dost thou now recognize thine old friend? And job. Lord British rolls his eyes. Must we go through this formality? He laughs, shaking his head. Very well. As thou well knowest, I am the sovereign of Britannia, and have been for some time now. Even though I come from thine homeland, I have chosen to live my life here. My homeland? I know that it has been many a year since I visited our earth, but surely thou dost remember that the two of us hail from the same time and place, and as brothers in origin thou shouldst also remember that thou canst ask me for aid at any time thou mightst require it. Aid? Do not forget, Avatar, that I have the power to heal thee. That is one bit of magic that still seems to work for me, and I could probably provide thee with some equipment and a spell book. I think he can do all the same things. Heal, cure, poison, resurrect. Yeah, am I in need of one of those? No, I'm not. Of course, it will never cost thee anything to use mine healing services. If thou hast need of my services later, I will be here. Equipment. We already did that. We haven't done this. I am certain that thy friends have rued thine absence. 'Tis a shame thou didst stay away so long, but I am so very happy to see thee. Britannia is prosperous and abundant. Look around thee. Explore the newly refurbished castle. Travel the land. Peace is prominent in all quarters. Yes, Britannia has never been better. Well, almost never. Almost never? Well, things are indeed fine. It is the people I'm concerned about. There is something wrong in Britannia, but I do not know what it is. Something is hanging over the heads of the Britannian people. They are unhappy. One can see it in their eyes. There is nothing that is unifying the population since there has been peace for so long. Perhaps thou couldst determine what is happening. I implore thee to go out amongst the people. Watch them in their daily tasks. Speak with them. Work with them. Break bread with them. Perhaps they need someone like the Avatar to take an interest in their lives. Castle? Yes, it has been redecorated since thy last visit. The architects and workers did a splendid job. The ruler leans toward you with a sour look on his face. The only mar in the entire complex is that damned nursery. Nursery? I will not go near the place. Kings and dirty diapers do not mix. Excuse me. The Great Council talked me into implementing the nursery after several of my staff started having families. Although it was probably a necessity, I shall pretend it does not exist. Friends, thou must mean Iolo, Shimino, and Dupre, of course? Iolo. I've seen our friend rarely over the years. I understand he has been spending most of his time in Trinsic. Hello, Iolo, how art thou? I am well, my liege. 'Tis good to see thee. Shimino. That rascal does not come around very often, though I understand he spends most of his time in Britain these days. What dost thou have to say for thyself, Shimino? Mine apologies, my lord, Shimino says. What's this I hear of a woman, an actress? Shimino blushes and shuffles his feet. I suspected as much, the ruler says, laughing. Dupre. I have not seen that one since I knighted him. Typical. I do the man a favor and he disappears. I heard he might be in Jellum. Jellum? A rather violent place by all accounts. I've not had the pleasure of visiting quite a while. What do you know about Trinsic? I've not been down there in many years. Has something happened there? A murder. Murder? In Trinsic? The ruler looks concerned. I've heard nothing about it. Art thou investigating it? Yep. Very good. It pleases me that thou art concerned about my people. The king pauses a moment. Now that thou dost mention it, I have heard reports. I have had reports of other similar murders in the past few months. In fact, there was one here in Britain 3 or 4 years ago. The body was mutilated in a ritualistic fashion. Apparently there is a maddened killer on the loose, but I have no doubt that someone such as thee, Avatar, can find him. Killer? That is, of course, only an assumption on my part, but that is all we have had to work with. Unless thou hast already uncovered some useful information. Crown Jewel. I'm afraid I cannot possibly know every ship that comes through our ports. Thou shalt check with Clint the shipwright if thou hast not done so. Man with a hook? Man with a hook? The king rubs his chin. No, I do not recall ever meeting a man with a hook. Ritualistic? I do not recall many details. Thou shalt ask Patterson, the town mayor, about it. He may remember more. Study we already know about. Storeroom. I am sure thou canst find it. The ruler smiles slyly. Consider it something of a game. And spellbook. Yes, I have a spellbook stored away with the rest of the equipment. Alright. Okay, well, thanks, British. Goodbye. Do come back soon. Okay, so let's end it there, and we'll pick back up exploring the castle and getting our getting our equipment.